On this episode of the Film Optix Podcast, it looks like the streaming service Peacock has launched and nobody knew about it. It also looks like Tenet is unlikely to release in its August 2020 slot. So let's just jump in. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Film Optix, brought to you by the Drive-In Podcast Network, where we bring you the headline hot takes of entertainment news. I'm your host, Christian, and as always, we're going to be talking about the world of film, TV, and everything pop culture related that happened this week. And as always, I'm joined by my good friend and my co-host, Devin. How are you doing today, man? We're here, another week, it's just come and gone.
This week was a slow one.
Yes, it was.
Oh, my.
Yes, it was. Luckily, tomorrow's Friday. So if you're listening to this, it'll be out on Friday. So happy Friday to everyone out there, even though we're recording this on Thursday. So before we begin today's, before we begin today's show, you can listen to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, Red Circle, TuneIn, Pandora, and iHeart, amongst many others. But yeah, I guess let's just get into the comic book news here. So, you want to take this first one, Devin? I know you were egging this one. Well, not really egging this one on, but I think you found this one last time. The part one.
A bit of a follow-up here.
Yeah.
On the Anthony Mackie news that came up. It looks like the Russo brothers are in agreement with him about the MCU needing more diversity. I think that's kind of a strong backing if you get the top two directors of the universe to agree with you.
Yeah, and like we had said from before, when that article first came out with Anthony Mackie's statement, it seemed like a bit off, but like I don't think whoever covered it got like the full story, because it made it seem like it was something totally different. It was making it seem that Disney was racist for him working with white directors and actors and whatnot, but the truth was it shouldn't have to take a movie about Black Panther to have a black director. So it's like, okay, well that makes more sense, because the way that they originally spun it did not make any sense whatsoever. But I guess it is what it is. But was there anything else you wanted to touch on? Excuse me.
Hopefully, Feige and the MCU boys step up and make some changes. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. Or, is it in? I don't know if it is Feige's decision. It might be.
I'm sure he doesn't decide the entire crew that gets hired, but he might have a say in changing it up. And especially after this little outburst, because it's rare when actors have these outbursts and turns out just to be true. So maybe they'll have a little bit of a moment of reflection. But we have this next news story coming up here for everyone. Looks like the Comic-Con at Home is shares Friday's complete panel. So this, kicks off, Comic-Con at Home kicks off on the 22nd. So it looks like they're going to be having a lot of random things. I can't really say that I'm very excited for it this year, because I know you're excited for that New Mutants panel.
I am. If they give us like a VOD release date, I will be so happy. Like I want to see this so bad, and it's just like, come on, please, or just give it to me on Blu-ray. That's all I want. It's literally all I can ask for. But it looks like there's some interesting things in here. I know we kind of touched on this prior, but this is like the actual schedule. Had a little bit of Bob's Burgers, so that's pretty cool. Some Walking Dead, Charlize Theron, Evolution of Badass, action hero character retrospective. Is there anything out of here that kind of catches your eye?
Let's take a look.
Because, we all know that DC's doing their own fandom event, so they're not going to be at Comic-Con. And neither is Marvel.
This looks rough. Oh, no, there's not a single thing that catches my eye.
Yeah, honestly,
not
besides...
even close.
Nope. I can't. It's just so dry. It's Marvel's not going to be there. DC isn't going to be there. They're doing their own thing. We don't really have any word of if Marvel's doing anything or if they're kind of just, going with the panel. Because, last year at Comic-Con, Marvel had a pretty big panel. So it's what else is there really to show right now, to be completely honest, besides maybe some Falcon Winter Soldier stuff or Loki or not Scarlet Witch or WandaVision. So, yeah, there's not a single thing on here that I really care about. Maybe Hellstrom. I think that's coming to Hulu. So we might be able to review it because, Devin, I am a Hulu Press member now.
Oh,
so
really?
I can request to have Hulu Originals screeners early. So we might be able to do some more reviews. We can actually record prior and then have it release on the embargo date, which would be really awesome.
Get that exclusive early access.
Film Optix exclusive.
Before anyone else. Dropping it midnight the day it's available to be dropped.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, either that or whenever the embargo lifts, which is normally a few days prior to the release. So we can do non-spoiler section and spoiler section. Be kind of cool. So, yeah, big things coming. So we'll definitely have to keep a lookout for August for Hulu Originals for sure. But back to the main topics at hand. Sorry, everyone. So you want to take this next piece of news, this next bit of juicy
it's mustache twirlingly interesting. There's a rumor that Marvel Studios may not be done with the Titan himself, Thanos, just yet.
Well, I don't know how. If it's a prequel, then sure.
I've been hearing rumors that a younger version of him will show up in the Eternals because
that would make sense.
He is a Titan and he's part of that storyline.
Yeah, okay, that would actually make sense because I think the Eternals, the timeline fits. So yeah, I don't see why not. But I was gonna say if they're trying to I guess.
What if
somehow
it's baby Thanos makes an appearance and you got Rhodey showing up with the little wire
with a little tire iron or a little rope and just
tie him up.
Baby Thanos. I wonder what baby Thanos looks like.
Very ugly.
Probably. But do you have any thoughts, concerns about this, or do you think this is more of a smart move on their part?
It could be a little concerning if he shows up in a current day movie. You're just gonna bring him back already. That's a bit too soon there.
Yeah, I feel like more of a cameo appearance in Eternals would be fine because, like you said, it does go in with that timeline. So that could definitely, I could see that happening, a small cameo appearance. Whatever.
That'll definitely hype the crowd up if they saw the purple guy on screen.
Okay, Grummus, listen here. But yeah, I do agree with you there. If they're going to reuse him, they definitely need to use him sparingly, and only at the right moments. So definitely a pretty good sign. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But. You want to take this? Wait, no, I'm taking this next one. Oh my God. So we kind of already touched on this a little bit. It's about Marvel Studios and DC dishing the Comic-Con virtual event. We already know what's going on with the DC fandom. Do you think Marvel is going to kind of come up with their own event, or you think they're just going to lay low?
I mean, I don't know what they have. Like, they've got the shows coming out.
Mm-hmm.
They could
got
drop a couple more little teasers.
Maybe that, or maybe give us more insight on like Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk. Some interesting other Disney news later on we'll talk about as well, dealing with Star Wars. But I don't know, maybe something like that, or maybe some Mandalorian goodness, because that's coming up soon. Isn't it like October, September?
Yeah.
So we'll just have to wait and see. I know
Speaking
we're pretty much
of Mandalorian. This next story.
Take it away.
This guy might be a bigger villain than Thanos, just because he's so many villains in one. Giancarlo Esposito thinks that joining the MCU is the next step in his career. I mean, he's got to be a bad guy, right? Every other thing he's ever been in.
Would it be weird if they turned him into a good guy and he's like, I'm tired of playing the bad guy role. I just want to play someone good, someone honest.
That would definitely be a good twist if they set him up as the bad guy and he just turns good.
Oh, that would be a nice little twist. It's like, oh, of course, it's Esposito.
Maybe a Doctor Doom type, possibly.
Doctor Doom would be pretty interesting. I mean, he's also
going to be for it.
He really does, and we going to be talking about a little bit later with him being in Far Cry 6 as the main villain. But there's just some actors that like they just play the villain role so well, and you really don't want them to play anything else.
It's just crazy how he's in so many at once.
The dude's literally multiplying.
Breaking Bad ended, and then now he's in The Mandalorian, The Boys, Far Cry 6.
He was in The Boys. That's
and he's
right.
He's going to have a big role in the next season.
Yeah. Even Far Cry 6, like, it's just insane. It looks exactly like him. And it's like, well, I mean, I'm not really too surprised because even with in The Last of Us Part 2, one of the side characters, Dina, there's they scanned this one girl's face. I forgot her name, and but she's Italian. And they literally like scanned her face, and like she's in the game, but she doesn't voice. It'll come up at some point. But yeah, with his character in Far Cry 6, it's like it looks so much like him. It's insane. So cool. I mean, I would definitely like to see him as like a good guy, or maybe like a chaotic good guy, kind of someone who kind of I would say toes around in the middle. Like, is he a good guy or is he a bad guy?
I mean, he's kind of weird because he's like, I can't imagine him being very much of a physical presence because he's definitely a bit on the older side. So I don't know how much of a good guy you can be if you're not running around beating up people.
Yeah,
usually the villains are just like the ones that sit back and watch everything and don't do much.
Yeah. I guess so. Oh, and the girl's name was Cassina. I'm gonna butcher her last name, but Cardana, Cassina Cardana from The Last of Us Part 2. So it's like insane. I mean, I'll link a picture later on, but yeah, it's pretty cool. So let's move on to our next piece of news here. It looks like Logan's Daphne Keane wants to reprise her role in the X-23 role, as part as the MCU's X-Men, and I am totally okay with that. I hope so, because
I remember clicking on this tweet, and it was one of the only times I've seen the internet like all agreeing in the replies.
Yeah. Like I can't, like she's obviously still young enough. And I mean, she was in Logan, like she did a phenomenal job. I mean, child actors now have sometimes even taken over, even though they are in a supporting role, like all eyes are on them instead of, obviously Hugh Jackman, but of course people's eyes were on Hugh Jackman, but it's just like she did such a fantastic job. So yeah, cool. Hopefully it comes true, especially for the younger the younger Marvel characters. I mean, I don't know if I want to see Sophie Turner as Jean Grey again. Maybe get somebody different, only because I think her American accent can use a little work. But she didn't she didn't do a bad job, but I mean, she did as good as a job as she could in Dark Phoenix. So yeah. So I mean, we've seen that Will Smith and whatchamacallit, Gemini Man. Like, Will Smith's a fantastic actor, but that movie
not
was
a good time to be Will Smith.
Yeah,
for once, it's not a great time.
I know, some crazy stuff going out there, but hey, celebrities have issues too, so we'll just leave it at that for now. So I believe that does it for our comic book news. So let's get into the new normal. You know, I figure we can kind of switch it up instead of saying, "Oh, well, now the general news." We're going to call this the new normal. It's basically just miscellaneous news.
And we're leading it off with Peacock. That's the big news we've got here.
You know what? I'm actually kind of disappointed in them, Devin. I'm not going to lie. So when you told me, when we randomly found out that Peacock was available, and I was like, wait, what? It just like dropped out of nowhere. There was no build up. There's no marketing build up whatsoever. And you know, you were like, hey, you know, if you have Xfinity or Comcast, you get the Peacock Premium for free, even though there's a freemium version of Peacock out there. So I go to connect my Xfinity account, and it tells me that my package is not eligible.
Oh, yeah, we didn't have enough of a package.
It doesn't make any sense. I pay like a good amount. Like, we don't have cable, but we pay a good amount for internet. You know what I mean? So it's like, why would we not? I can
confidently say you're not missing much.
I saw a Geekly Goods video on it. Leo was, I mean, he said there was some pretty good TV shows on there, but it wasn't like anything popping out saying, oh my gosh, like, I'm going to start using this, like HBO Max.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, we can do a quick video on this, but just the fact that the premium version still has ads, that's perplexing.
Not only that, the fact that they're already removing movies after day one launch.
One day.
They have a lot of free trials. I think they're about 7 days a piece. But it does look like with Peacock, because I guess this goes into our next story because we just kind of bounce back and forth here. But it looks like Peacock is actually following in the footsteps of HBO Max when it comes to Roku and Amazon devices are not going to be, Peacock will not be available on those devices. It looks like there's some kind of beef going on here. It looks like, oh my gosh, the Peacock streaming service launched Wednesday. I had no clue.
Peacock. They really named it Peacock.
Yeah, they really did. It's really weird. Apparently there is some kind of beef going on because I saw a article where it was saying Peacock was saying that Roku and Amazon users deserve better, which was really weird. And I was like, something's going on that these new streaming services are not putting their app on Roku or Amazon Fire TVs, because I mean you have around like 80 million active users between like Roku and Fire TVs. It's like that makes up around like 70% of all like the streaming services out there. And I guess it's supported on, you know, if you have a console, you're all good. And if you have a certain Xfinity package that I didn't know about, I guess you're good there too. And it's also good on Chromecast and Apple TV. So, yeah.
Yeah, this trend of new streaming services not being on Amazon Fire TV or Roku is
we really need to look into that. Yeah, it is perplexing. We really need to look into that to find out why. There has to be some kind of reason. There's no way that like these streaming services are like banding together and be like, oh yeah, we're not going to put our streaming services on Apple or Roku. I mean, not Apple, excuse me, Amazon or Roku TVs. So I'm definitely going to look into that and be like, why is that? I think Disney Plus was the last to do it. Because you were able to access Disney Plus. Well, you have your Samsung Smart TV as well, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we'll just have to keep our ear to the ground on that one. But, I mean, if you're watching Peacock, we'll hope you enjoy it. I guess we can do a review of it. I don't know. I really don't want to. But, but then again, we might have to finish strong. Maybe we can get some more people on there with us to do that. So, do you want to take this next bit of news with Idris Elba?
Idris Elba is popping into the news here.
Yeah.
He has a quote mentioning that racist films and TV should not be censored, and he recommends adding a warning label prior to them instead.
Yeah.
I'm very much a believer in freedom of speech, he says. But the thing about freedom of speech is that it's not suitable for everybody. That's why we have a rating system. And then he goes on, and
yeah, and he was.
And then he says at the end, "After all, we are story makers."
Yeah, and I want to get your take on this first. I'll go last.
I didn't really put too much thought into this, to be honest. I guess what he's saying does make sense. That just deleting them doesn't really add much, but adding a warning message beforehand could solve the issue, because taking it away just leaves a blank spot where something should be, and it doesn't make sense to do that, really.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with what he is saying. I'm not really a big fan of censorship either. I don't think that we should be removing, TV shows or movies that, may have some type of either racial, or not agenda, excuse me, or racial tone or racist tone or anything, when it comes to this type of situation. Because, I mean, Quentin Tarantino, like, he's one of my favorite directors, like, ever. And, like, half of his movies, they drop the N-bomb. Like, do I care? No. But it's like, I mean, during the times that he's made those movies, it's just, I mean, it kind of is what it is for me, but that's like a totally different story. But I do agree with Idris Elba when it comes to, they shouldn't be censored because, like, they are pieces of art. And I think this goes back to when we were talking about Gone with the Wind was taken off HBO Max. And, I mean, understandably so, given the tone of the world or state of the United States. No pun intended there. But I mean, like I said, I've never fully seen it. I would like to see it. Like I don't really, like, obviously going into this kind of movie, it's pretty obvious that it would have some type of racial undertone is going to be there. But like it is a work of art, and removing it from our archives kind of goes against the point of making movies or video games, TV shows in the first place. I mean, sometimes you just, even in the Netflix show Hollywood, like, I mean, it has racial undertones, but like it's still a really good show. Like, it doesn't really take away from me, but yeah, I mean, good on you, Idris Elba, for speaking up, because obviously something should be just a warning label just would be nice, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry if I'm going on a tantrum, but warning label would be nice because I think it would help out a lot. If people want to watch it, they can watch it. If not, don't worry about it. So,
yeah. I know
Thank
you're
you for coming
excited
to
about
my
this next piece here.
I am, and I actually bought a few things already. So Barnes and Noble is having their 50% off. Yes, they are still open. They're having their 50% off Criterion Collection sale that is happening now until, I believe, August 2nd, I believe. So far, I bought Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Yes, August 2nd. So far, I've bought Portrait of a Lady on Fire. I pre-ordered Marriage Story. Those were both $22, I believe. $22 each, of course. And, Devin, we had some amazing news drop yesterday. Bong Joon-ho's Parasite is coming to the Criterion Collection. Not only that, it is the 4K version, and you get the black and white version as well.
Interesting.
Yes, for $30. I was like, okay, that's actually not bad. But there is, I believe there is a Criterion Collection movie called Nashville that I would been meaning to check out. I hear it's very good. It's part of the collection, so I might pick that up as well. And that's pretty much it. But if you are a big fan of, movies that typically wouldn't get a physical release, a Criterion Collection is definitely the place to go. I believe Roma is part of it as well. If you don't have Netflix or, if you want that physical copy, it does come with a lot of extra goodies. So it's not just, it's the movie. Yes, but it's normally I would say the best versions of the movie. So with some pretty cool cover art. So yeah, some pretty cool stuff going on there. So just wanted to give a quick shout out to Barnes & Noble for that. So let's just move on to our next news story here. You want to take this one, Devin?
All right, we got more Netflix action coming up. Project Power from directors Henry Joost and Ariel Schulman, starring Jamie Foxx, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Dominique Fishback, is headed to Netflix August 14th. Did you see this trailer?
I watched half of it, and then I got busy with something. But I do mean to go back and rewatch the rest of it. From what I saw, it was very good. Yeah.
I mean, it's another superhero type movie, which obviously is very, very bloated market. But I mean, it looks interesting enough. I mean, it's on Netflix, so we're gonna watch it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I believe we're part of the Netflix. Well, I signed up for the media center for them, so I got to contact them to see if we're able to see it early. If not, we'll just watch it on August 14th. Definitely want to review that one for sure, because I don't know what we're going to review this week, Devin. I don't know. We'll figure out something. So this next bit of news, it's kind of a bummer. Julia Sawalha, she has announced that she will not be reprising her role of Ginger in Netflix's Chicken Run 2 after the producers stated that some of the original voices are sound too old, which kind of sucks for someone.
I think it's kind of funny, to be honest.
I mean, I could definitely see the humor in it. It's just, I guess if you've been playing this character for so long, you would expect to have that role. But then again, even for Scoob, the guy who's been playing voice acting Scooby-Doo, the original voice actor, he wasn't asked. But I actually thought that was kind of funny. So yeah. But I guess what are your thoughts on this then?
It feels like the producers just called them up, said, "Okay, boomer," hung up, went on with their day.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not really a big Chicken Run guy.
I'm not either. I'm just not. But, I mean, there is a nice little letter out there that I'm looking at, the statement from Julia herself. And she did her voice test. There's a link, Vimeo link within this letter that she wrote out to everyone. And I don't really care to check it out, to be completely honest. If you like Chicken Little, go ahead, look it up. I'm sure she tweeted it or might be somewhere on Google. So you want to take this next one, Devin, or should I take this next one?
Oh, it's your boy.
It's my boy. Hayden Christensen is rumored to be in the series regular on the Obi-Wan Kenobi Disney Plus TV show.
Have you heard a similar rumor to this?
We've heard this a lot of times, yes. It keeps popping up, though. It keeps popping up so much, and it's like, is this real? Is this not? Like, if it's not, that's fine. Just let me know.
This guy has nothing else to do, so.
Wow.
His last movie was about Little Italy, which is one of the worst things.
I haven't even seen that.
I only know somebody make fun of it.
I've only seen Aiden Christensen in Star Wars. I was supposed to go to Ace Comic-Con before that fell through, and he was supposed to be there. And I was like, I got to meet my boy. But yeah, that all fell through. So, coronavirus. So, yeah, I mean, like you said, we've been hearing rumors about this for a while. And I feel like if this rumor keeps resurfacing, there has to be some truth to it. I don't know if you'd be like a regular on the series or maybe just like appear in an episode or two, but there has to be some kind of truth to it since it keeps popping up. I don't know.
We'll see.
What are your thoughts? Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll believe it when I see the sand hater.
Will you believe it when you see this next movie though? Even though there's a photo confirming that they started filming. They will start filming soon.
Uncharted, first set photo.
Why are they making an Uncharted movie?
We love Tom Holland. I just don't know how I feel about Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah. Like, I love the Uncharted series, PlayStation, but it's like, there seems to be this really weird trend because between this and just like, turning video games into movies isn't really something that I'm super excited about because, yes, I understand not everyone plays video games, but at the same time, even for like the Last of Us HBO series, like I'm excited that it's coming to HBO. Neil Druckmann's tied to the project and the director of Chernobyl, which I still need to watch, but I hear the show is very good. It's tied to that project, but it's like, I can't really resonate with someone who's watched the Last of Us HBO series on, the TV show versus me who played the game. So I've literally have played the best medium or the medium that this story was meant to be told to begin with. Like, yeah, I can resonate with them on a certain level, but like, I can't resonate with someone who's watched a quote unquote, I guess not really an abridged version or just, the film or TV version of something that I've played myself and have gone through and essentially became these characters for a short period of time versus passively watching, actions happen on a screen. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
In a way, I mean, like, I know it might be reaching a bit or a bit far-fetched. It's just, I mean, I'm excited for Uncharted. Like, I'm definitely going to go see it whenever it comes out. But, I mean, even with The Last of Us, it's like, oh, my God, I watched the show. It's like, yeah, that's great. Getting more people into that. And that actually might prompt people to buy a PlayStation and play the game. But then again, I don't know because that's a pretty big paywall just to play, like a 13, 14-hour game. But, well, I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. But, yeah, Sony did confirm that production for the Uncharted movie has not started yet, but they are preparing to hope to start production soon. I mean, we all know, Tom Holland's been stuck in limbo for a bit after Spider-Man Far From Home. And, he's been the movie Cherry, of course, that's supposed to be coming out. Everything's just in a really weird state, as we know before, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But was there anything else you wanted to touch on that before we move over to our next news topic here? We are really good on time, by the way.
Yeah. Next up, Gal Gadot. Still not sure which way to go.
Ooh.
Is in talks to lead a spy thriller from Skydance.
Interesting. Getting out of the superhero realm and into the spy thriller. I got you.
Definitely seems like a good fit.
Yeah, she's actually one of my favorite actors or actresses, excuse me. Or no, I'm going to say actor because if you've watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, they explain why everyone should be called an actor instead of an actress. But yeah, I think she's a great actor.
This film will be written by Greg Rucka, who is pretty well known, I guess.
Rucka.
He has written. He's done work for Wonder Woman, Batwoman, Detective Comics. He also wrote
Black
the
Magic?
Old Guard movie that just came out.
That was good, man. You definitely got to watch it. It was very good. Yeah. But yeah, Rucka. Sounds like a Pokemon or something. Rucka. I don't know. Rucka. But yeah, I mean, I'm like, we've said this before. Very excited to see where, we see a lot of these actors and actresses, I guess, whatever. We see a lot of these actors in these superhero roles, but you kind of want to know what their next projects are going to be. If, like Chris Evans, he said, of course, he would love to come back as Captain America, but only if there was a story to tell, which I agree with 100%. Instead of just being known for one role, it's like, well, I've done other things too, so it makes sense. But I'm happy for our old gal. So, this next bit of Star Wars news, we haven't really had this in a while. Kind of got rid of that segment because we stopped getting so much of it. Now I kind of just bumping in here to the new normal, but it looks like the Bad Batch animated series is going to be coming to Disney Plus in 2021. This is something Devin still hasn't watched, even though I implore him to watch at least the last 4 episodes. That's all you got to do. It comes together so well. But for those of you who don't know, the Bad Batch, there's certain arcs within the Star Wars Clone Wars TV show within each series, and the Bad Batch are essentially defective clones that the rebellion deemed, I guess you could say, unworthy to be a part of the actual Grand Army. So they're kind of thrown aside. Like, they still do missions. They're just more of the dirty work, I guess you could say. But they're really great in Season 7 of the Clone Wars. And I really like their arc a lot. It was only maybe 3 or 4 episodes, and then they moved on. But got a lot of great reaction from the fans. So, and I see a lot of people on Twitter are very excited about this as well. So it's pretty much all I have to say about that.
Yeah.
So you want to take this last bit of news here, some Tenet.
I feel like this will be like the 10th time we've said this, but Tenet release unlikely, this time in August. And Deadline predicts that the 2020 box office is going to plunge 70%.
Ooh, that's tough. But actually, Tenet was supposed to release this weekend. Like we were supposed to see it like this weekend. I think from like its original date, like its original date. So yeah. What are your thoughts? Like, I mean, yeah, it, like you said, it does feel like we just keep getting like, oh, Tenet's pushed back again, and like I get that Christopher Nolan wants this to come out in theaters, but like it really just needs to be pushed back to next year. Like, as much as it pains me, it really does. Like, we saw China started reopening theaters during, I guess you could say, the cool down essentially of COVID, and then numbers spiked right back up again. So is it even worth it? Like, it's either push your movie back or release it on VOD. I know he doesn't want to release it on VOD, but I love you, Christopher Nolan, but you need to be a little bit more realistic about what's going on. There's no way, even if he does release it in August or September or October, there's no way it's gonna hit those numbers.
Yeah, I don't know what he's gonna do. He wants to be the first to market, but it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, like we get it. You want to have your movie be, I guess, not necessarily the savior of COVID or the movie theaters, but I mean, I guess in a sense, yes, but more of a hopeful, just some good news. Like, hey, like Tenet's out, it's safe to go. It can really get that spark going for people to start going back to theaters. But it's like, I love you, Christopher Nolan, but it's like my health is important. I don't I don't feel comfortable doing that. As much as I would love to see your movie on the big screen coming up, you just got to be realistic, man, and just kind of read the room. For the love of God. Just read the room. Even with Dune, I don't think Dune's going to make its release either. Because, I mean, they were even saying if everyone in America just wore their masks for 4 to 8 weeks, we could be seeing these movies and controlling this for the future. Literally, just wear your mask. I think Charlize Theron said, she tweeted something about it. It was just wear your damn mask. Because within 4 to 8 weeks, it's 2 months. All we're asking is for 2 months. Not saying that everything would go back to normal the way that it should, but things probably could just start reopening. We could go back to the movie theaters. We could be seeing Black Widow. We could be seeing Wonder Woman, Tenet, etc. So, wear your damn mask, people. Please. So, I believe that does it for our new normal talk today. So, let's get into our gaming news. We got a lot here. Not a lot, but some interesting stuff. Did you watch the Ubisoft Forward live stream this past Sunday or no?
I did not.
I did not either. So let's go through the recap really quick. So we got a little bit of Watch Dogs Legion.
Yes, we did.
I know you're super excited about that. I'm actually excited for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. This might be the first Assassin's Creed game that I buy in a long time. I think the last one I bought was Black Flag. So I know the boys will be excited for some more Rainbow Six Siege talk as well. And then, of course, we have Far Cry 6 coming out. So that actually looks very, very interesting. Did you play 5 at all?
Barely.
Did you play 4? I played 4. 4 and 3.
Yeah, 3 and 4 definitely. Primal was butt.
We were so excited for Primal, dude. When we did that Xbox share feature thing. We're like, yo, dude, we can talk. It's Primal, man. It was fun for maybe the first few hours, and then
Where's
just got
the
tired
dialogue?
of it. Yeah, there was dialogue, it just wasn't in our language. Or anyone's language, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they also talked about some Brawlhalla Mobile, yada, Ghost Recon Breakpoint as well. We didn't really want to get too much into it, kind of just wanted to see what else they talked about. Of course, Devin's very excited for Watch Dogs Legion. I think Ubisoft's making some pretty nice games coming up. I mean, I would check out Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and then, Far Cry 4 being probably the big 3. I guess unless you're a big Tom Clancy, Ghost Recon type of guy. And they had their own, this is a few trailers here or there. But yeah, it seems like they had a pretty decent all-around live stream. So... And also with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, it looks like there was a deleted Instagram post saying that it will be coming out November 17th on the PlayStation stores, where they kind of, between November 17th and there was something on the PlayStation store that was for Far Cry 6, excuse me. So I misspoke there. But there's a screenshot here. Xbox One, November 17th, not in our language. I'm trying to see what language this is in. It does not, unless it's in Vike. No, it's not. I don't know what that is. Icelandic, maybe? Devin?
No idea.
No, it's all right. But let's have you take this next news story. Some Xbox news.
Next week's big Xbox stream will focus solely on games. No consoles, no weird features, no DVR,
no Kinect?
TV recording software.
Right.
just games.
Just games. First-party games. They did say third-party games will be there as well, I believe. But that might have been... Yeah, no, it's first and third-party. But mainly first-party games. So looks like the showcase is happening this coming up Thursday, next Thursday, a week from now, of this recording at least. 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern time. So that's actually kind of... it's actually nice. I'll be able to watch it because, yeah. And, of course, there'll be a pre-host show by the Summer Games Fest by Mr. Jeff Keighley himself. That will begin. The pre-host show will start 8 a.m. Pacific time and 11 a.m. Eastern time. The feature show will feature reviews, predictions, and more, yada, yada, yada. You'll be able to watch it on pretty much Twitch, YouTube, all that good stuff. So you're excited, Devin. You want to see some Halo?
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah. I want to see some Halo. I want to see some Fable. I do want to see what Microsoft has been cooking up. You know, because they
gotta have something coming.
Yeah, well,
they lost the last battle by too much to not try to.
Well, you see, I can't even say that because I mean, yeah, there's like the console wars, whatever, but it's. I mean, Xbox or Microsoft, they're taking a different approach with all of this. You know, even with them owning the Warner Brother WB games, it doesn't necessarily mean that they will own those studios, but I mean, or if they do own those studios, they're probably just going to be third party. I mean, Microsoft's going to be making that money anyway. But that actually kind of ties into our next news story. And I think this is actually really smart. It looks like Microsoft is going to be discontinuing the Xbox One X, which is their flagship console as of right now, and the Xbox One S, the digital edition of the Xbox One S. It looks like they're going to be discontinuing both models ahead of the Series X, which is going to be Microsoft's new next-gen flagship console. So it looks like the Xbox One X and the Xbox One S digital editions they're going to stop manufacturing those. But I feel like this makes a little bit of sense because it kind of confirms their Lockhart console, which is supposed to be apparently a replacement for the Xbox One X. So it's kind of like, they discontinue the original Xbox One because it's too old with the hardware and whatnot. They're discontinuing the Xbox One X because of the Xbox Lockhart, which is the code name for that second console. Looks like it's going to be replacing that. And then they're going to be keeping on the Xbox One S with the disc drive. So it's just the all-digital edition that is going to be taken off the market. So,
yeah, it definitely makes sense to me because it's already confusing enough with these weird names.
Swapping out some things.
Just get rid of some of the ones, I guess. Make it a little easier for the moms out there to buy their kids' consoles.
Seriously. I honestly, I get what they're trying to do, but it's like sometimes I just miss the days of just one console. I mean, even with the Pro version, I get it, but I don't know. Hopefully next gen we won't have too many of these, mid-cycled consoles like they do with cell phones and whatnot. Like I get it, it's like, we can make it a little bit more powerful and push it out to the market. Yeah, that's great, but I'd rather just have. We're both PC players. We'd rather pay more money up front and have it be paid off in the long run. It's called future proofing. It's all you got to do.
Yeah,
we do it all the time with PCs. It was like I would rather buy a $600 console. The PS5 is. If someone told me that the PS5 was $600 and they said, it's $600, there's not going to be any console iterations. This is going to last you for the next 7 to 9 years. I would say absolutely. Like 100%, I would pay $600 if that was the case of, with no hardware iterations down the line. Just one console, whether you get the all-digital edition or the traditional edition with the disc drive, I would pay $600 for that, 100%, if it meant me not upgrading to like a pro version of a console that I already bought.
Speaking of PS5 price, there's more rumors here.
Yeah. Did you want to take this one, Devin? I know you haven't. I know you don't have a PlayStation, but I feel like this is more just middle ground for everyone.
According to comicbook.com, there are rumors that the all-digital version could cost as little as $400. Meanwhile, it's possible it will cost $450 or even ring at the same price of $500 as the disc version. It being the same price makes no sense.
Yeah,
why would you get the discless version if it's not cheaper?
Yeah, that doesn't okay, so let's say the disc-based version of the PS5 is $500. If they take that optical drive out, I think it would be $100 less. I don't see the point in there being a $50 difference.
And I think that one will sell so much more.
I think the digital is going to outsell the physical
anymore.
Yeah, you see, I'm in a I'm in a pickle myself because it's like I've been thinking okay, I have my PS4. Do I just buy the all digital edition? Because I mean, as much as I do like having physical copies for consoles, I mean, honestly, but okay, so let me back up a little bit. The reason why I buy physical copies of movies is because there is a definitive difference between the movie that's on the disc and the digital version in itself. The files that, if you're streaming or you're just watching a digital movie, let's say through Vudu or iTunes, those are compressed files in order to stream that to your TV. On a disc, you have uncompressed files, which means you do have true resolution or better resolution than obviously a digital version, and this better audio and video overall. The quality is a lot better, and of course, obviously, you get to keep it for as long as you want. Let's say if Vudu or iTunes went out of business, you may or may not still have access to those movies. But with consoles, when it comes to these games, the digital version, the only real difference is that if I pop in a digital version of God of War or download it, I mean, the files are already on the disc, so I don't have to download anything. It just has to install. And installing's normally the easy part if you already have the files stored somewhere instead of pulling it through.
If you're worried about storage, you can use the $100 you save to get an external hard drive.
An external hard drive. But you see, right. So my issue is, do I just get the digital version of the PS5, and keep my PS4 for my PS4 games? Or I probably will buy the PS5 with the optical drive so that I can play my PS4 games. And then honestly, moving forward, I'm probably just going to go all digital for my PS5 games. That's probably what I'll end up doing because I'll have the disc drive. I already have a 4K player, but it's nice to have another one, I guess. So I have all my PS4 games. I can pop those in. Theoretically, they should work because the PS4 and the PS5 are both on the same or based off the same x86 architecture. So use the disc drives for my PlayStation 4 games and just buy all my PS5 games digital because there really is no point. And low key, I know a lot of studios out there don't share digital sales, and people think that, it's bad. No, it's actually really good. It just doesn't make, there's no difference. The only difference is that you have something tangible in your hands, but we kind of said goodbye to that ship a long time ago when we started playing on PC.
Yep.
So, yeah, thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
One more little story to add.
Yeah, one more little story left. I think I made up for time. Oh, wow. Let's see if we can get this done under an hour. We're at 54 minutes. So it looks like Sony is set to double the expected production of the PlayStation 5 this year because I guess out of nowhere they decided, or they thought, oh my gosh, we're in a pandemic. People are going to be, wanting to buy this thing. So shipping constraints may result in shortages this holiday. They are increasing the DualSense orders from the previous 10 million to match the console's new look. And it looks like Sony expects 5 million units to assemble by the end of September. This thing's coming out sometime November. I think around probably. So it looks like between 5 million units in September and another 5 million units between October and December. So I really think this thing's coming out. I mean, obviously November. Probably mid-November like it always does. Or, I don't know. It just depends. Maybe it might be October. We just don't know. But I know you're not really thinking about picking one up. But, I mean, I think it's smart. I'm definitely going to try my best to pre-order one. Even if I just have to, pre-order it through Best Buy or, if it's on Amazon, boom, boom, boom. You know. Got to get those reward points for that Amazon store card.
Yeah, buddy.
Always. So, yeah, we don't know when the PlayStation 5 is arriving. We don't know the price as of yet. But this came from Game Informer. But they got the story originally from Bloomberg, stating that they'll be ramping up to a total around 10 million units when it first launches. But I feel like that's fine anyway, because not a lot of people upgrade day one to begin with. But Miles Morales Spider-Man's coming out, so it just depends on how badly you want to buy that or play that. So, yeah, we'll just have to see. And the COVID's been affecting a lot of things, so, yeah. But I believe that does it for today's news show here. Thank you, Devin, as always, for coming on. And thank you, everyone, for listening at home. We're really trying to get out there and make this as best as we possibly can for everyone. So that was pretty much it for our gaming news. I really like the gamings. Yeah, it was light. You said light news week?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I don't even know what the thumbnail is going to be, to be completely honest. Maybe I'll go with Tenet or something. Probably Tenet. But
Peacock. Just a giant peacock.
National Geographic. Peacocks. I need peacocks. But there wasn't really a big story that's oh my gosh, this is the main news story of the week. So I'll figure it out. It probably will be Tenet. Something movie related. So I don't want to really do anything video game related because that was kind of it was all right. But as always, you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, Red Circle, iHeart Radio, and Pandora. And don't forget to check out MusicCityDrive-In.com. We are a part of the Drive-In Podcast Network. Go ahead and check out all of the other podcasts that are underneath our network umbrella. We have commentaries. There's music. If you like sports, we got 2 sports podcasts on there as well. So definitely go check those out. I will leave a link in the description, if you're listening to this on YouTube, and in the description of the details of the audio version of this podcast. So I don't know what we're reviewing this week, Devin, but we'll figure it out. For sure. We shall. So that was Devin, and my name is Christian, and we will see you guys on the next one.
Peace.